Let's talk intuition. Hi, I'm Dr. Heidi Heron, and I would love to talk to you today and for the next few weeks about intuition. Intuition is that feeling, that knowingness, that sense of something. And everyone has intuition, just not everybody listens to it. In fact, more women are more likely to notice, pay attention, and follow their intuition than men. But men have it too. I've been thinking, why is this? And I think that society, and I also think that this is changing a little bit, but society has said it's okay for women to feel, but men should be more logical, more rational, more reasoning. And intuition, after all, is a felt sense. It's part of the feeling category, but not in an emotional type of way. That being said, I think the stigma of men feeling is going away. I don't think people are being taught as much around the world that boys can't cry and that men can be in tune with their emotions and their intuition as well. Let me ask you this. How do you know when it's your intuition? In fact, we're going to cover a few of these things over the next few weeks, but just a real quick pondering moment. How do you know when your intuition kicks in? How do you know when it's just a feeling? How do you know when it's your internal dialogue versus your intuition? How do you know if it's right or not? And should you be intuitive for yourself, for others, for everyone? What's the game? Intuition, in my opinion, is something that everybody has and you can develop it. It's a muscle like none other. Well, or like all others, depending on how you look at it. I think everyone has that intuitive felt sense. It's just about uncovering the emotions and the beliefs that might be on top of it so that you can feel it and get in tune with it more. A lot of people, myself included, when they follow their gut instinct, that intuitive sense, it feels right. It is almost like getting into the sense, the flow. Some people explain it as getting into the flow. And oftentimes it's disregarded. We have the rational mind that sometimes gets involved. We have the caretaker mind that gets involved. We have the it's not me mind that gets involved. It's not mine mind that gets involved. We have the fear of emotions mind that gets involved and the emotional mind that gets involved. And a lot of times those things cloud that aspect of our intuition. And if you have a caretaker mindset, for example, then you will be more drawn to taking care of people. You probably don't even give it a thought. It's just the mode or the reaction that you go into. I go into caretaking mode from time to time, and I have to remind myself, whoa, hold on, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my job to fix it. But oftentimes when I see somebody that needs some help and I know I can help them, I jump right in. That's not necessarily intuitive. That is that caretaker mindset. If I'm being very logical in a moment and my rational logical mind is kicking in, and usually that comes from a voice that's up here, that's also usually not intuition, that's my logical rational mind. If my emotional sense is coming up with a strong sense of emotion of do something, don't do something, anger, grief, guilt, fear, whatever, that's also usually not going to be my intuition. Intuition is oftentimes felt in the body, and we'll talk about this in another week or so, but it's often felt lower in the body. Solar plexus gut reaction, oftentimes we hear it described as that, my gut tells me. And it doesn't argue. It oftentimes doesn't even speak in words. Sometimes it's more of a sensation or a feeling or a picture or a knowingness, not necessarily a word. If your mind is ever yelling at you, you can't do that, run the other way, go somewhere else, that's probably more beliefs and emotions that are kicking in versus intuition. Where if it's more of a, oh, I know, I don't know why, but I know I need to do this, or I know I can't do this, but I don't know why, or it just doesn't feel right yet. Like there's a project that I'm working on right now, and I'm at a point where I'm unable to move forward on it because I know that I don't have all of the information yet. I don't know what information I need to have, otherwise I probably would have the information, but I know I don't have it yet. And it's very much an intuitive thing. The moment I start to work on it, because I'm like, I need to get this done, it just, everything gets in the way. There, things grind to a halt. It feels like a slog. I don't even know what a slog is, but it feels like one. And it's hard. But the moment I go, hold on, it's just, there's something missing. It's not time yet. Wah, the fairies start singing. And a couple weeks ago, I had an epiphany about it. And I was like, okay, here's what I need to do. And I've got fairies singing. And so I went and did that little part. And I'm, again, waiting for whatever that's going to tell me, because that will click into something else. But I know for me that when my intuition is on, and it's on a lot, I'm very intuitive, things fall into place. I listen to that felt sense. So it's not with my ears, it's not even listening for internal dialogue, it's just that body sensation. And sometimes it is a word, sometimes it's an image, sometimes it's something like that, but it's more often than not, just a sense of yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong. Sometimes it's even an aspect of, contact that person today. And because my intuition says, and the other day this happened, I contacted a friend and she said, oh, you didn't know how much I needed to hear from you. And that was for her. Another time I did the same thing, and I contacted someone, I didn't know why, and they told me something in the conversation that I really needed to know. And just kind of a light bulb moment for me. So listening to that. There is a difference, and again, we're going to talk about this when we talk about feelings and intuition. There's a difference between knowing for yourself and knowing for someone else. There's a difference between mind reading and being emotional or being emotive, or, oh, what's the right word? Uh, there's a right word for it. I'll know it by the time that I get to that video. It's going to block in my head until I find it. Doesn't matter. When somebody has empath, when somebody is empathic, that's also not intuition. That's empathy. That's feelings heightened. And the feelers, the energetic feelers are out there, but that's also not intuition. I meet a lot of people who are coaches, or they desire to be coaches, and they often tell their clients things. You're feeling this. Ooh, this is happening in your life. And I would say that 60 to 70% of the time they're wrong. They might be on the right track, but they are wrong a lot of time. Now that means, 30 to 40% of the time they are correct. And that's from that sixth sense. And that's also from what the person that they're working with has said. But oftentimes it moves into intuition, moves into mind reading. My invitation to you is to do a few things to tap into your own intuition for you about your life. Don't worry about other people's lives. That's up to them. And if that's a skill that you want to develop, then you can develop that too. But I would say the first thing in the morning when you wake up, open your eyes, look around, close your eyes again, and bring your awareness back into your body. Back into your body. As low as you can. Solar plexus, gut, lower than that, as low as you can into that core of you, that center of you. Like if you were to fold yourself in half, it's down by your hips, that is the center of you. It's not up in your heart. So down below, and just breathe into that space and start asking a question every morning. What is going to make today the best day? What is going to make today the best day, or something along those lines? What do I need to know about today? What guidance do you have for me today? And we're tapping into the universal awareness, and just wait, listen, acknowledge. And if you don't have something come up, that's perfectly fine. Wait 2 or 3 minutes. Even that's just nice to be in that meditative state. The more good you are, but that's not very good grammar. The better you are at meditation, the easier it is probably to tap into that intuition. The more you're in your head, or more you're in your emotions, it gets a little bit clouded. The more you have beliefs about, I'm not an intuitive person, that's very much in your way. But everybody has that intuition. And when you follow it, When you listen to it, understand it, and follow it, life becomes easy. Life becomes easier. Life still has challenges, but easier, because there is that guiding system. In my model of the world, we've got our conscious thinking analytical mind and also our unconscious mind, which is that part of us that belongs to me specifically, my unconscious mind, made up of my history, my beliefs, my values, everything that I've seen, said, tasted, touched, and smelled, and it creates who I am. And there's the collective consciousness or higher conscious mind, and that is connected to everything, that inside and outside, the above, the through, the for, the in. And that is where our intuitive sense comes from. It's that felt sense, again, is probably the best flow type of word, that when we can tune into it, we know. Unconsciously, in that higher conscious mind, we know. And if you have doubts about anything, should I be in this job? Should I be in this relationship? Should I take that job? Should I have that parking spot? Should I buy that car? Should I buy that house? Should I go for that walk? Your intuitive felt sense knows. So over the next few weeks, I invite you to come back and watch a couple of my other videos. We will specifically be talking about intuition versus feelings, intuition versus internal dialogue, and developing your intuition. But first and foremost, tap into it every morning. After you open your eyes and look around, close your eyes, come back into your core, and ask yourself, what do I need to know to make today a better day? Or whatever question comes up, and just wait for an answer. And after a few days of doing this, something will come up. It might not be a sound. It might just be a sense, a feeling. Maybe it's about peace or calmness or wholeness or relaxation, or put something on hold. If you hear it, follow through on it. See what happens. If you have questions, let me know. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. And come back next week and take a look at what the next issue of intuition is all about.